It's been almost 5 days since Hamas launched its deadly attack here in Israel, and now the people of Gaza are feeling the full force of Israel's operation there. Not only from airstrikes, we've seen more of them continue. They are hitting Hamas targets, but also some civilian infrastructure, and we've seen some pretty devastating videos of people coming into hospital, including children covered in blood who've been pulled from the rubble. But it's not just the airstrikes, it's also the effect now of the complete blockade that Israel is enforcing on Gaza. There were already strict controls about what sort of materials you could bring in, but now Israel is preventing things like food and water, medicine and electricity from coming into that territory. And the hospitals in particular say that that's going to cause them real problems in the future. Add to that the fact that Gaza's only power station has now run out of fuel, and there do appear to be some pretty dark times ahead for the civilian population there in Gaza. That has prompted the UN to make a statement today. The UN Secretary General has appealed firstly for all of the Israeli hostages to be released from captivity by Hamas militants. But the UN chief is also calling for Israel to loosen some of the restrictions it's put in place.
UN staff are working around the clock to support the people of Gaza, and I deeply regret that some of my colleagues have already paid the ultimate price. Crucial life-saving supplies, including fuel, food and water, must be allowed into Gaza. We need rapid and unimpeded humanitarian access now.
All over Israel, people are burying their dead. We're at a cemetery overlooking Jerusalem today. It was a military cemetery. And as soon as one funeral ended, another one was beginning. Now, according to Jewish custom, people should be buried on the day that they died, but that has not been possible in this case. There's just been simply so many bodies to collect, to identify, and then to return home. So that's making things even more difficult for their loved ones. But there's also a real shortage of people to actually do the burials. And we met some volunteers today who have come to the cemetery to help out. Some of them are putting dirt into bags so that the graves can be more quickly filled in. Others are volunteering to dig graves themselves. And we spoke to one volunteer, Jonah, who said he never thought he'd be a grave digger, but this is something that he wants to do to help out.
Listen, there's going to be, when we go in the ground, rather than just air, there's going to be, they booby trap the whole thing. And unfortunately, I think we're going to lose more soldiers. And, you know, they need people digging graves here to get ready. They can't dig it once the person's here already.
Despite Israel's bombing campaign of Gaza, Hamas still has the ability to launch rockets. And earlier today, we saw more rockets coming over from Gaza and landing in the southern city of Ashkelon. One hit the hospital. But also in the north of Israel, there was a major security alert earlier. People were told to shelter in their homes and to lock their doors. Not only were there air raid sirens, but there were reports that there was an infiltration from militants coming from Lebanon. In the end, both of those things turned out to be false alarms. But it does show you the sort of state of alert and the state of readiness that people here in Israel are now in as a result of last weekend's attacks.